Hello friends, good morning. This is Miniraj Kumar. Friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Neeraj Chaul. Friends, in this video, we are going to talk about a bird. Friends, yes, this is not only bird. It has a large meaning. Yes, it has large energy. Friends, 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 I am calling this word in English language. Friends, this is called in English language motivation. Friends, yes, motivation. Friends, it is not only word. Yes, it is not only word. Friends, first of all, please do you tell me that what do you understand by this word? And you can talk about your opinions. What do you understand about this word? Friends, yes. Friends, I believe that it is not only bird, friends. It is the source of energy. Yes, it is the source of energy, friends. Because I have seen that if you put a big goal in your life and you want to work on that goal, but after some days, you get stuck, and friends, you don't want to like to work on those goal, but you that time you need to motivation, you need to motivation, right? So it is I am talking about motivation. So motivation is very important word. And friends, so friends, you know you can't achieve big thing in your life if you do not this word motivation. Friends, everyone knows about this word. Friends, yes, motivation is very important. Friends, motivation is very important in our life. Friends, yes, in our life. Friends, yes, you know, it gives us energy and to move forwards and to get up and gather our all forces and be a confident person. So it is very important. Friends, motivation is very important. But do you know how motivation does work? Do you know how does motivation work? Friends, motivation work like fuel in a vehicle. Yes. Do you know, friends, fuel means that fuels gives energy to vehicle. Friends, so it is very important. Like friends, I am here, I am giving example, friends, that without fuel a car cannot run. Likewise, without motivation a person cannot achieve his dreams, his goals. So it plays very significant role in our life. Friends, yes, we need to we need to motivation in our life. And friends, yes, it is very important. Friends, motivation helps in student life and it helps us to study regularly. Friends, when we friends if we are a student, we do not study regular. Friends, we think that when we when we have exam, then we will start studying. But friends, if you are inspired and if you have motivation, you can study regularly and constantly, and you can get good marks in your examination. Friends, when I was in 10th class, I was preparing for my board examination. You know friends, I used to friends I used to motivation video daily. Friends, that was my routine. Friends, in the evening when I go to sleep, and I used to watch one video in that time. Friends, that video helped me to get good marks in my board examination. Because friends, friends, I used to inspired that video, and friends, I used to listen and moral stories. So that was very good for me, friends. So motivation is very important, friends. No, when a person, no, when a person feels lazy in his life, yes, friends, they feels lazy and he is not focused on his dreams and he is not focused on his path. So motivation helps him to wake up and to move forwards on his dreams. So motivation part is very important. Friends, when you are motivated, yes, please suppose me, when you are motivated and you are focusing on your dreams and you want to do something remarkable in your life, yes, if you want something remarkable in your life, but friends, you are motivated somebody's efforts, and friends, a motivated person cannot give up easily. Yes, I have seen that a motivated person, that friends, they does not they do not give up easily, friends. No, he trying again and again until he succeeds. So it gives energy to constantly efforts. So this is very important, friends. No, education also helps in our, friends, professional life. Like in our professional life, friends, we set some goals that we have to achieve these goals for our promotion. And so when we start work and after doing some work some days, then we get stuck and we do not want to like to work on that goal. But friends, we need to help motivation on that time. So friends, we need to help motivation and we listen motivation videos and we can watch motivation video. And friends, so this is very important. And so motivation helps in our achieving professional goals and career goals. So it is very important, friends. So motivation is very important, friends. Without motivation you can't achieve big in your life. So motivation is very important, friends, because if you, friends, when somebody becomes successful in his life, you feel jealous. Yes, you feel jealous. Why do you feel jealous with him when somebody becomes successful? Friends, don't feel jealous, friends. I will say get inspired from their efforts and work hard on your dreams, I will say. And so that's very important. So don't feel jealous. So motivation is very important in a life. So friends, I have told you that it has a large meaning and it has large, friends, energy. Friends, if we are motivated somebody's and we can, it help us to wake up early in the morning and we work hard on our dreams. So it is very important. So now friends, I have told you my views. And friends, if you are new English learners and if you want to learn English language, friends, so please subscribe this channel and please like this video. Friends, why am I saying that you should subscribe this channel and you should like this video? Because friends, when you subscribe this channel and when you like this video, I will get motivation and I will be motivated to making new videos. Friends, please do in comment how did you like this video. And friends, I am waiting for your comment. Yes, really, surely I am waiting for your comment. And friends, I will say please thank you for accepting me and thank you for visiting my channel. Thank you for watching this channel, friends. So we will meet in the next video with new topics. So friends, thank you, friends.